There is usually a specific moment when I know that I'm getting ready to overtrade. And if I don't catch it right there, that's usually when my trading goes downhill for the day and sometimes for the entire week. And for me, overtrading, usually it doesn't start with like just a bad trade setup. Usually for me, it starts with a feeling. Like I know it's coming. So I got a lot of triggers like when it starts to come on, but I can feel that I'm getting ready to overtrade when when I'm green on on a particular trade, but just a little bit. It didn't quite hit my full daily goal, or if I'm red like a little bit on the day, we're talking like, a 0.5% or a 1/4%. It's not really, really red where my max daily loss is, but it's red enough where if I have one good trade, I feel like I can get it back. For me, some of the triggers are when I put in a limit order, and it doesn't get filled, and then that sucker runs right to my take profit. That really pisses me off and gets me into this over trading feeling where I can feel the tilt just creeping in. That's the worst. Another major one that gets me a lot of times is when I take on too much size, take on too big a size, and I take a huge loss, one that I'm not okay with, and then immediately I'm like, all right, I got to get it back. So taking a big loss should be the thing that prevents me from taking major size, but it doesn't work that way. Sometimes for me, sometimes it starts when the market is a little slow and I feel a little boredom, and so I start swiping and looking for different setups. So rather than just kind of observe and letting the market come to me, I'm almost like hunting for a good trade. In my mind, I'm thinking, all right, one good trade will do it. Just, one decent trade. That's the word I use. One decent trade will get me there. Um, I'm not really patient, and I'm just feel like I'm pressing. That's when I know, like I feel it. Sometimes in my mind, I say, you know what? After this trade, I should probably shut it down. Or sometimes it'll pop into my head where I probably should lock myself out of the app right now. It happens all the time. Today, funny enough, is a great example of that. I was up, I'd say maybe $60 on a trade, not much, less than $100 for sure on a trade. And, I was looking to make anywhere between, like a 1 to 1. So I'm risking, 125 on the trade. And the trade didn't look like it wanted to hit take profit, and it was kind of chopping. So rather than um, rather than waiting for the trade, I didn't part of it is the fact that I didn't set my trade and walk away. I was managing it, and it didn't look like strong. Like it was starting to look invalidated. So I decided to take the money off the table and just kind of wait and see. After doing that, I took profit and I waited, and sure enough, it was Netflix. I was trading Netflix, and the trade started to go in my direction. And so that was the time where I was in the trade. My idea was correct, but my timing was off, and so that sent me off on like where I was chasing it. So I went from just wanting to take one trade to I got into a situation where I took multiple trades trying to get that original take profit, and I ended up finishing the day down $300. So here's the rule that I'm really, really, really trying to focus in on is just not even having any time delays, because when I'm really following my rules or following my trading plan, it's when I set my trade, I calculate my risk size, set my stop loss, set my take profit, and just kind of close out the app. So that's something that I really want to keep myself grounded to, is just um, taking profit or at least locking myself out. If it's a situation where the market is open and I don't see any trades that are like necessarily setting up the way that I want to trade them. Um, and in my mind, if I say, maybe just this one trade, or I feel like I'm stretching or reaching and the market is not showing me anything, I think one thing that I need to practice is just locking myself out right then and there. Because by doing that, staying flat or not taking trades, that's really the master skill that I haven't done yet. Usually the market is like so much volatility, so much action going on. Like I rarely not trade. There's not many days where I don't take a trade over the last 5 years. I'm always looking to take something. And I think by me wanting to take trades and not being patient and not slowing down, I can always find a setup that works. Even if it's not a good setup, I can convince myself that this is the right one. And that might be the feeling of the beginning of me wanting to overtrade, when the market isn't showing me anything and I'm kind of creating in my mind this setup where I'm trying to force a trade. And if it's a situation where, if after I take a winning trade or a small losing trade, in my mind, if I'm saying just one more, or let me just see if I can find something, give it a little time, I think that should be the trigger or the loud voice in my mind to say, hey, this is the start of over trading. And I think that is the time that I need to step away. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about this over trading and how it affects me and how it affects you. So if you have anything to comment down below, I'd love to hear about ways that you deal with over trading, or what are the triggers that kind of get you going. Leave it in the comments below. I appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great one. Peace.